What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Fans of Something. I know it's a jarring, different angle going on right now that we're used to compared to other streams. We've been technical difficultying this thing for the past 20 minutes. Randy's been a trooper. We've been going back and forth. Okay. It all stemmed from I couldn't hear him on my end. So turns out it's probably my speakers. So we had to roll with the punches, and we're back on the laptop. So that's obviously that's the backup plan. So, but I wasn't going to let this opportunity pass. I wanted to get this particular evening in before Christmas, because obviously we're going to be talking about a holiday themed film here. So I'd be damned if today was not going to happen. So as much as it's kind of bugging my OCD that we're using the laptop and not the the professional stuff, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So today we are going to be talking to and damn it, Randy, I should have asked you about how you pronounce your last name. NUNDLALL? Okay, sweet. Randy NUNDLALL Jr., filmmaker, and someone that's come across my radar recently because of the Christmas tapes. I had actually never even heard of the Christmas tapes, which is sort of surprising because I'm a big Greg Sestero fan, and I didn't even know he was in this thing. For some reason, it's not on his it's not listed in a lot of his credits. I don't think it's on Wikipedia, and I know that's Wikipedia, but so this has just sort of gone under the radar for me. And I think he posted about it. Greg posted about it one of these past few weeks, and I was like, the Christmas tapes. And so I went on Tubi, which it is streaming for free right now on Tubi. And I was like, this is perfect because, we're binging Christmas movies all month long. So I love finding new Christmas themed films. So checked it out, and safe to say, once I let it, kind of sit and stew and kind of marinate, it turned out that this was one of my new favorite holiday films. I love that it's, holiday horror is, I think, a beautiful combination. It goes together so well. And obviously this has Greg. Most of us know him from The Room. So we're going to get into how Randy and his co-director, co-writer Rob, they kind of figured Greg into the project. And it's got Dave Sheridan from Scary Movie, Deputy Special Officer Doofy, which was great to see. And then Vernon Wells. I didn't even know, I was like, why do I recognize this guy? He's freaking Bennett from Commando. What? So we have to talk about all this. And then, of course, we're going to get into some other stuff. So I'm going to stop gushing over it. I love this movie. I ordered the Blu-ray. I was hoping it would be here by the time we did this. It's not here yet, but can't wait to add it to the collection. So without further ado, let's bring in the man that brought us the Christmas tapes. It's Randy. What's going on, dude?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man. First of all, thank you for being cool with trying to figure out all the technical things.
Don't worry, I'm used to it for my job. We have to do stuff like that. Thank you for saying my name perfectly, my last name.
Yeah.
That's probably the best pronunciation I've ever heard. So good job.
I was thinking about it all day. I was thinking, okay, what are the potential other pronunciations? And I couldn't think of any. So I was like, it has to be NUNDLALL, right?
Yeah, I've had it all. You just pronounce all the letters and you're fine.
So, okay, so let's get into it because we are a little pressed for time. So I don't want to waste any potential, questions that we could have answered. So first and foremost, take us back to the inception of, you have a production company called Wolfcat Films, right?
Yes.
So where does that stem from if you want to do the Cliff Notes version?
So I actually work with Rob. We work for a nonprofit that teaches adults with disabilities filmmaking. So I've been there 5 years, and I believe he's been there 6. Okay. So we were talking about making a film for a while, and then COVID hit, and we had to work online, and we were stuck, and we are thinking okay, let's make a film. We've always talked about it. Now's the perfect time. So we made a feature film, The Other Girl, which has really gone under the radar, but that's on Tubi as well, which was a mumblecore comedy film, a throwback to the 2000s. Just a few friends. The crew was me, Rob, and Austin, our sound guy, who actually worked on Infrared and the Christmas tapes. So we made that. We thought it was fun, and when we were working online with our students, we used to have special guests on. So a lot of actors, people in the industry had a lot of downtime. So we've had people like Greg. That's where we met him. We actually Rob contacted his publicist Travis, um, and he was like, "Hey, can you get Greg on and like students can talk to him?" Yeah, sure. And then later I don't know if Rob brought up the idea. He was like, "We should get Greg on the film," and I was like, "That'd be great." And he was like, "Let me ask Travis," and Travis was like, "Yeah, Greg could be down." Because Greg was actually working on, he was in post production for his film Miracle Valley. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he was doing a lot of post sound work, and he was bored, and he wanted to go and do something. So he came down for a day and worked on Infrared with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, okay, so and I actually have that Blu-ray on the way as well because once I found out that it was the same, it was Greg was involved again. I was like, where is all this Greg stuff coming from that I have had no clue existed? So I picked that up on Blu-ray as well. I haven't checked that one out, but so that was the first one was
Yes.
Infrared.
Yeah.
And then while you were on that one, were you already pre-planning Christmas tapes or?
So Greg's character in Infrared is the same character in the Christmas tapes. So Rob always pitches silly ideas to me, and like at first I'm like, no, that's dumb, and then eventually he convinces me a bit more, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. So with the Christmas tapes, he was saying, how about Greg's character turns up to a family's house on Christmas Eve with a box of VHS tapes, and he kidnaps them and forces them to watch these films. I was like, that's a stupid idea. And then eventually he convinced me, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And we're really happy with how it turned out. So
heck yeah. Okay, so that's okay. So it's like a shared universe kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
that is so cool. That's I'm even more excited now because I thought it was just like a totally separate story, but it's the same dude.
Yeah, same dude. He he was nuts in the Christmas tapes. He was leaning more towards comedy. In Infrared, he's still funny, but he's crazier in there, I think.
Okay, sweet. Well, that was okay. So first and foremost, let me type this into the chat here because I want anyone that's not familiar with it. This is that's the link to the Christmas tapes on Tubi. Let me know someone in the chat that's watching that the link works, but it should work. So check it out. I mean, I've posted about this on the community tab leading up to today. So hopefully people had the opportunity to check it out. But so obviously we're going to talk some spoilers. There's going to be some spoilery talk throughout. Dude, when I watched this, I was watching it with Haley, and the moment Greg, like they opened the door, because I was wondering how you guys were going to work Greg into this movie, because he's on the poster. So I was like, okay, so he has to be some form of a main character, but then there's also Dave and Vernon as well. So I was like, how big is the story going to be with Greg? I thought he might have been one of the anthology stories. And then the moment they open the door and it's Greg, I was like, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect because he's going to be he's the overarching kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's similar to, if anyone has seen like the VHS movies, where it's the overarching story and then there's the tapes in the middle kind of thing. Greg is the overarching story, and he is absolutely sinister in this film. Was that like, I mean, because he's played some interesting characters. Miracle Valley is obviously a horror kind of thriller, psychological, and then Best Friends is, I mean, it's not really horror, but it's definitely a different turn for him because he's trying to get away from, as much as he embraces it, I think he is also trying to get away from the shadow of the room a little bit. So was this hard for him to, in Infrared and the Christmas tapes, do this like really sinister stuff?
No, so with the way me and Rob work, we have an outline of the film. So we know where the story has to go, but we let the actors improvise all the lines. So what we'll do in between takes, I'll go and talk to one actor me and Rob will talk to each other first, but then we go and talk to the actors separately because we don't want everyone to hear what's going to happen.
Right.
Because then you might get some like good moments coming up. So with Greg, we just let him go loose, and I think he really enjoyed it because he doesn't usually do those kind of roles.
Right. Right.
So he really enjoyed it. A lot of the funny lines were his. My girlfriend was actually watching it again the other day, and she was like, "Man, I didn't realize how funny Greg is. He's all these little silly one-liners." I think in Infrared, I don't know if Greg was intending to do this, but the sound guy Austin was saying, "Yeah, he keeps like throwing in references from The Room." I've seen The Room a few times, but I don't remember any of the references that he was throwing in. I don't know if it made the final cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to, because I mean, I'm very familiar with The Room.
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch of times, so when I watch it, I'll be like, okay, that's definitely a line there. But yeah, it was a lot of. It was refreshing to see him in this. Is ultimately what I'm trying to say, and why is it like why is it someone that's like a Greg Sestero fan and now fan of your guys's as well, but like why is it like why did I just now find out about the Christmas saves? Why is it really, why is it like so under the radar? It's
last year, so it came out last year, but it came out right before Christmas. It was like the 19th or something. So I think it just went under the radar of lots of people. And this year we're actually getting a lot more responses to traction, which is great. So, and then a couple of people were like, "Oh, it's my new holiday favorite," and we're watching it every year. And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." So I'm assuming that might be the reason. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just, I mean, I want to spread the word on this thing because it's a really good holiday horror anthology is and I think it's a new kind of, because there's really not a lot of holiday horror anthology, right?
Yeah.
There's the holiday horror stuff, but to have a VHS take on the holiday horror genre is pretty unique. So let's talk a little bit about, so the overarching story was that, like, how did you how do you write a found footage movie, first of all, because it's a pretty tricky genre to write because you have to make the found footage aspect believable. Like that's always something that I'm always critiquing is why is the found footage in the first place? Like why are these people, when shit hits the fan, why are
they're still filming? And which in Infrared we I don't want to spoil it, maybe we'll talk about after you watch it, but we were asking those questions during Infrared. We're like, okay, how can, because we watched a lot of found footage and we're like, okay, people always have the camera on, it's not believable.
Right.
So how do we make it believable? And I feel like in Infrared at the end we made it very believable that they would still be filming. Yeah, so like I said before, so we have an outline, we'll do scene by scene, like this person does this and this has to happen, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
The more we make found footage films, the more we share with the actors. But with like our first film, The Other Girl, we didn't tell the actors anything. We just told them, hey, you're going to go in the bathroom, you're going to find this, and it pisses you off, and you're going to go and confront the other character, and then we'll tell the other character something else, and we get these real, authentic, genuine moments between them. So it was a bit of that. So actors would bring things up, I would take notes, and I'll tell one of the actors later, bring that thing back up again. Okay. So yeah, but with Greg's ones, they were more. We gave them more. It was funny because Greg's parts, that was the second segment we filmed. So we knew we had the Scarecrow segment, travel buggies. We filmed Greg's segment. We knew the Christmas gift, the outline for that, but the small one in the middle, untitled, we didn't know what that was going to be. So I think Greg pulled out the tape and he said, well, that was weird. So we're like, okay, well, we have to make something that's weird. So we threw in that little segment in the middle. And then we had the Paranormal Perry thing at the end, which actually changed a lot last minute. So
okay, so that's interesting. So the Greg stuff is, you're filming that after you've already filmed the Scarecrow segment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Greg travels all around the world, as you probably know. Like if you follow him on Instagram, you'll be like, oh, I'm in Boston, and then the next day he's like, I'm in Russia. You're like, how did you get there so quick? So he he's from the Bay Area, San Francisco. So he comes to visit his family, I think Christmas and like Easter. So it was around Easter. So he was like, hey, I'm in town. Let's film this thing. So
Wow,
yeah.
that is so cool. So they weren't actually even watching really
No.
anything. It was just that you put the tape in and then that was
And
it.
the screen, we had the little blue screen thing, and then our VFX artist superimposed it.
That's so cool. That's really neat. So you went off of him kind of riffing with the okay, that was weird, and
Yeah.
then threw in the very quick one,
Yeah.
Untitled. Okay, interesting. So that's how Greg came into the thing. Was Dave Sheridan and Vernon Wells, were they also some like, were they last minute kind of thing, or was it like from day one you were like, we need to get these guys as well?
So with Vernon, he actually, I think he lives in LA, but I don't know if he used to live in Sacramento where we live. So
Okay.
he used to do a lot of local stuff. So, and Rob's Australian as well. So he reached out to Vernon, and then Vernon apparently was like, "Yeah, you're Australian. We don't mess around. Let's do this." So he was interested. With Dave, Rob one day said, "Oh, I was drunk last night, and I just started messaging actors on a IMDb Pro, and I started talking to Dave Sheridan." I don't know if he actually was drunk, but Dave was interested, and yeah, he signed up. We actually originally that segment with Dave was going to be him and Phyllis Rose from Sleepaway Camp.
Oh no, no really?
Yeah, because they tour together a lot. They go on conventions,
Wow.
but she had to drop out last minute because of like personal business.
So she was going to be the
It was actually going to be a duo. So it's going to be Paranormal Perry and someone else,
no,
which I actually think it worked better with just him.
right.
But yeah, it was supposed to be two of them. They pull
Wow,
up in a van, and they were both going to be idiots.
wow. That's so cool. Yeah, because I just recently watched Sleepaway Camp, so now I'm kind of aware of who she is.
Yeah.
So that's really neat. That's really neat. Because watching it, I was like, where does this guy looks very familiar? Like,
Yeah,
I'm a big scary movie fan, but I haven't seen it in a bunch of years. And obviously, that was 2000. Now we're 23 years
right.
removed.
The same for me. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, this guy. I think halfway through it, I turned to Haley. I was like, this looks like Doofy from a scary movie. And I was like, I have to look this up at the end. And then lo and behold, it was. And I was like, that's like Deputy Doofy, Paranormal Perry. Was that sort of was Scary Movie in the back of your head when you were?
Same with him. I think we just gave him a rough outline of the character. So we were like someone a bit like stupid. You feel sorry for him because we knew there was going to be this turning point where he would they would start feeling sorry for him when he's talking about his family. Honestly, with him, the footage we got just of him, we could have made just one film. We had so much. We had to cut a lot of the funny stuff. There was some funnier stuff as well. So yeah,
Is that
he's
like on the
super fun.
Blu-ray or anything?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, actually,
Like
Rob
DVD?
deals with all the Blu-rays. I'll do all the boring stuff. He does the fun stuff. So I can't remember what's on the Blu-ray. But people have been asking, "Hey, can you do a Paranormal Perry sequel?" So we're gonna see if Christmas Tapes gets more traction, and then we'll see. Dave is interested.
Heck yeah. No, I mean, like if I were to ever go to a convention now and he was there, I would 100% be like, can you sign something from the Christmas tapes? Like,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like over Scary Movie. Like he's great as Doofy, but something about that Paranormal Perry and when I really get attached to a movie, and I go down the rabbit holes, like instantly, I was like, I think I even messaged Greg on Instagram. I was like, hey, first of all, love the movie. Second of all, where can I buy the Blu-ray? And then before he messaged me back, the wolfcatfilms.com, I had already beelined it over, I think, to your Instagram. And then on your Instagram, you have the link and everything.
Yeah.
So I go down the rabbit holes and I'm like, turning like I'm looking at Haley and I'm like, look, there's like freaking Paranormal Perry merch already. Like,
I'm actually wearing it now.
that is incredible. That is incredible.
He improvised that. we didn't give him a backstory about his. I don't think we gave him a backstory about his family, and he just started like riffing. That bit, we really, really wanted to laugh. Like if you look very carefully, you can see the camera is shaking because Rob's laughing.
And I think I also saw like I don't know their names. I'm sorry, like the couple. I'm,
Ian
I'm
and
pretty
David.
sure I'm pretty sure I saw them also like kind of cracking up like a couple times, like
Probably.
cracking smiles and stuff.
Because he just do stuff, and you're like, "What happened?" Like when he threw the bell.
Yeah, yeah.
That we didn't know that was coming in the first. I don't think we used the first take, but she's like, oh, God. So he was hilarious.
That was that one. Okay, so that's why like when you're so once it's all filmed and you have the rough cut of everything, do you know like as you're filming it, do you know that it's going to be in the order it is, or does that come in the editing when you're like, we need to save Paranormal Perry for last?
No, so with this film, we knew that was going to be the order because we filmed Greg's part second, and we told him roughly what each film was going to be about. So there was already an order.
In order, okay.
Yeah.
So going to the Vernon and like, sorry for being all over the place, but
that's okay.
Going to Vernon's segment, which is probably, I don't know, it's either that or the Scarecrow one. I think is the darkest in terms of like the subject matter that's presented. But I kind of like Vernon's a little bit better because it's a little more psychological kind of thing with the boxes and everything. I noticed there was like, especially the finale of that segment with the head and everything. Is that like daunting in the back of your head, like knowing, okay, we have, I assume, a pretty limited budget. How are we going to like accomplish this? Like the ear thing was really cool. Like that was like, I was like, okay, that's like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
But like the head exploding, were you like, how the hell are we going to pull off a head exploding shot?
We have a friend, my friend Taylor. He does a lot of VFX stuff. So before we filmed it, we consulted him, like, "Hey, is this something that's doable?" And he said, "Yes." He does a lot of VFX stuff professionally, and he was like, "Yeah, it's doable." So on the day, he came and done like the 3D scan. I don't know what the hell he was doing. He was just going around with his phone and like scanning his head. So we knew it was doable.
Okay. What, and if you don't mind me asking, what was the overall like final budget of the movie? Do you know?
I never know if I'm supposed to say it. So it was like 12,500. I think Rob, because every time people ask questions like that, I always look at Rob. I'm like, can we say? I don't know. Yeah, 12,500.
Wow. And that was all just like funded by yourself? Like, did you do a Kickstarter?
Myself, Rob, Austin, and my mum funded the film. So it was all our own money.
Wow. That's amazing. Like that's what I love about stuff like that. And are you a Black Christmas fan?
I've never seen it. It's funny when people interview us. Like we had an interview earlier this week, and the guy was like, "All right, we're gonna do." It was super cool, and he was like, "We're gonna do horror trivia." And Rob knows like every single film that's ever been made, and then I look like an idiot because he's asking me questions. I'm like, I don't know the answer. I have not seen Black Christmas.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because there's a unofficial fan film sequel to it called It's Me, Billy, and I've had the guy Dave McCrae is his name. He's Canadian. He's a filmmaker up there, and I've had him on the channel as well. But he's done the same kind of thing. He did Indiegogo, but like just that real raw kind of self-funding or crowdfunding, whatever route you have to go, I think is. I don't know. There's just something so pure about it. And obviously, as you and Rob continue to make more films and grow and everything, obviously you want to get out of that, right? You want to get into, having the budgets just kind of given to you, kind of.
Yeah.
But hopefully you never lose sight of like the whole, like you funded these things yourself,
Yeah.
And
everything we do, we fund ourselves.
And obviously you're really you're obviously very proud of what you do, because I'm looking behind you here. You have, I see Infrared, I see Christmas tapes.
And then there's some short films I did. And then we got this jigsaw puzzle that my girlfriend has left here for a year. So that's still to be completed. I hope she's watching this now. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah. So look, we'll move on past the Christmas tapes because I want to actually talk about some other things. But um, I think this is like, do you think out of everything you've done up until this point, is this sort of like this is the one we're most proud of, or is there something else that you're more proud of?
I would say the Christmas tapes.
It's this one,
Because the thing I like about the Christmas tapes, and I think Rob's the same, is we have all these segments, but you ask everyone like their favorite or their rankings, and everyone has completely different ones. There's obviously some that are more popular. So the Paranormal Perry one is usually people's favorites, or the one with Vernon.
right?
But you ask different people, and they're gonna say Travel Buggies is my favorite, or Untitled was my favorite. Greg's part was my favorite. So that's something we're really proud of. That there's
Right.
something for everyone.
Yeah. And I noticed with Greg, because I've been listening to some interviews that he's been doing, and he talks like immensely about Home Alone being one of his favorite movies. So the moment Home Alone was mentioned in this movie, I was like, they're like, I feel like that was just like Greg was like that was part of the contract. Like we have to. Home Alone.
That was actually not planned. That was the actors just came up with it. They were like Home Alone.
That's like
But
so weird because that's like even on his letterbox, that's
yeah,
like something that he's just constantly he's talking about Home Alone, and he has like a sequel idea that he wants to do.
yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. We've seen the script, the original script he did.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was interesting reading it. 13-year-old Greg.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So you've seen The Room, right?
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about this on Instagram about Tommy because you know we've met Greg, we've met him in person at one of the screenings. That was really cool, which is sort of how that turned into him coming on the channel. So now it's sort of like, all right, Tommy's the next Tommy. Like somehow I have to meet Tommy before I die. So and then I was like asking you, like, have you ever thought about putting Tommy and Greg in a movie together? And you said,
I can't remember what I said. I would like to.
right, that's what
Did
you
I
said.
say that? Okay, well, thank
Yeah,
God. I was like trying to recall what. Yeah, would like to. So Greg actually has a film, which is in pre-production called Forbidden Sky. There was a Kickstarter campaign, and with all the acting strikes and stuff, it was put on hold. But the strikes ended, so we're we're getting back in pre-production. I I don't know if he's trying to get Tommy to have a cameo in the film, like very small cameo,
right.
which would be cool. But yeah, if there was a Christmas tapes too, that'd be funny. Have Tommy in it because Tommy's someone I've always wanted. I've never met him. I've always wanted to meet him,
Okay,
and it's weird that when I think when I was 18, 19, that was the first time I watched The Room. I remember I was at a birthday party and I was bored, and my friend who was at university texted me saying, I'm going to go see this film called The Room. I don't know what it's about. Like it was on campus. And then I remember checking my phone later and he was like, all these messages. Randy, I don't know what the hell is going on. People throwing spoons at the screen. I don't
right.
know what this film is about. This is bizarre. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and watch it, and it was super bizarre. And then me and my friends always used to talk about The Room, and so working with Greg is kind of surreal. When I was like giving him direction, I was like, man, this is so weird. Because actually, the Greg segment is in my house, is in my living room, which is weird when you see on Tubi that my living room's there. So it was weird. I was standing there giving Greg direction in my house. I
Oh,
was
so
like, this
that's
is like,
your house. That's not a
yeah,
set or anything.
that's yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Well, I guess that helps with the budget.
yeah. So it was weird, like giving him direction. So I want to do that with Tommy. I think it'd be funny.
Right. Because part of me was thinking, you know, it would actually have been really interesting if Greg was actually Tommy, like just replace them. You know what I mean? Like see how Tommy would have been with a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That'd be I never thought about that. They'd probably tackle him. They'd probably
Right.
tackle him. Yeah, actually, it's funny with in infrared, people are critiquing Greg's gun handling skills. So on this one, even though it was still to be questioned, we tried to be more on top of that. We're like, okay, make sure you're holding your gun this way. Yeah,
Well, funny enough, like I did notice that too. I was thinking like he's kind of holding it. Like to
yeah,
me, like it comes across as someone who doesn't really know how to hold a gun, and I think that's funny.
Yeah,
like that he's holding people hostage, and yet he doesn't even know what he's doing with the gun, kind of thing.
yeah.
So I don't know that that's even a criticism. I think that that's just right.
Yeah,
That's
we
just,
think it's funny. Yeah. So actually, the bit where she tries to reach over for the gun, we're like, all right, let's throw that in. So at
right.
least she tried at some point.
Right. Yeah, no, that's funny. I was thinking like, wow, because it just adds to Greg, because Greg he's not as funny as Tommy is.
Yeah.
Because Tommy is just something else. But Greg is also pretty damn funny. Like even when he does the commentary when he's doing the room, live in person, like that's just funny shit. Like we were busting out laughing when we saw that. And
I think Greg is intentionally funny, but Tommy is not intentionally
right.
funny. So yeah.
Yep. And that's so going to Forbidden Sky, because I actually contributed to that, because
nice.
I'm like, it's Greg's doing it. I want to support it. I had no idea you guys were involved with it, so that's like, it just makes it even cooler knowing that I contributed to it now, because I'm a fan of you and Rob. So
thank you.
Yeah, dude. So that's going into, because of the strikes, you said that was on halt, but now it's going into.
Yeah, so I believe Greg is like, because this year is the 20th anniversary of the room, so he's been like really pushing the tours. He's going around the world, so I think as the year ends, he's going to slow down a bit and focus more on Forbidden Sky. So should be hearing more next year. Cool. We actually filmed the Kickstarter video for him. The bits that weren't in the desert, we actually filmed and we edited it for him.
So this is sort of like, all because of infrared, this has turned into like another partnership that you guys are gonna, like, for the foreseeable future, kind of work together.
Yeah, he's super fun to work with. He's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man! I love it. And if you have answered this, I'm sorry, but where does Wolfcat come from?
Oh, sorry. After you asked the question, I started droning on a bit, and then I realized I didn't answer the question, but you seemed happy, so I was like, okay. Same thing. Rob just pitches something silly, and then I'm like, that's dumb, and then eventually I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that, because dogs go woof, and it's a cat, so he was like, that's funny. So we're like, let's just do it. Yeah, that's where it came from. We have a lot of people say wolf cat, like a wolf. Nah, yeah. It's woof. I have to correct them. Yeah, I lose some credibility when I have to correct them.
That's cool. Because I'm always someone that takes into like when I start the movie, like the moment the movie starts, I'm glued to the screen. So I was watching all the logos that come up before the movie starts, and so Wolfcat comes up, and then Sestero Pictures comes up. And I was like, wait, hold on. I thought Greg is only just in this movie. I don't think he wrote this movie. I don't think he. So like, is that just because he's in the movie and like the Sestero Pictures?
Yeah. And then his publicist Travis was one of the producers on there, and he's part of Sestero Pictures.
Gotcha. Okay. There we go. I do want to pull up this, because this is one of our moderators here on the channel. So his name's Laren. I watched the Christmas tapes last night. I enjoyed it very much. Mr. Sheridan really stole the show for me, which made that my fave segment for sure. I think that's safe to say. I think probably the one that not a lot of people glom onto for some reason is maybe Travel Buggies, because it is so like, I don't even know what that thing is at the end. Do you even know what that thing is?
It's a scarecrow. Well, actually, a lot of people, Untitled, they don't like.
Well, Untitled is kind of unique, because it makes me think of, I think it's I feel like it's in one of those VHS movies where it's the guy has the implant in the eye. Like, have you seen that? It's in VHS 1 or 2, I think.
I've only seen VHS 1. That sounds familiar.
But it's like one of those point of view, the whole segment is a point of view kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I love that. Or no, I'm thinking of VHS 2, because one of the segments is it's through a GoPro, and the zombie apocalypse happens, and it's all through a GoPro. And so anytime there's like a point of view kind of thing, I'm always on board for that stuff. So that one didn't jar me as much as the Travel Buggies thing. Man, that's like, whatever that thing is at the end, I didn't know what the hell was going on?
It's funny. The guy who played the Scarecrow, he's worked with us on our films before. But it's like Rob's old neighbor, who's like super into horror films. He's like he's called Rom, and we're like, hey Rom, you want to come and help with this film? Yeah, guys, let's come on, let's do it. And he would do like he really enjoys it, and we're like, hey Rom, you want to play a Scarecrow? He's like, yeah, I'll do it. But when we give him the mask, he can't see properly through it, and he can't hear you because obviously we're in the snow. It's nighttime. We are freezing our asses off, but he takes the mask off and he's drenched in sweat.
Right.
So the take at the end where he's the very last shot when he's approaching the Louise's character,
Right.
that was the only usable take because all the others he was slipping, he would like he was struggling, he couldn't hear us. You had to be like really close to him. There was one take where when they're I don't know if you saw it, a lot of people miss it. When they have the tent set up
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, hey, oh, look, we're cooking steaks on these. If you look really closely in the background, you can see the Scarecrow.
Nope, didn't catch it.
So
Nope.
when we're filming it, Rom doesn't know we're filming, and you just see him put the pitchfork down and he starts adjusting his pants. He just starts pulling it up and like turning it around. I have to release that take. It's so funny. But yeah,
Well,
with that one, it's interesting because some people really like that, and then other people like rank it lower. So it's just different things for different people.
yeah, no, I mean, I would honestly, I don't know that I would put a rank on the segments. I think they're all unique in their own way. I don't think there's a weak one in there. It's just that Scarecrow one is jarring because it just sort of ends. And I, like in my mind, I was like, oh man, like I wanted to see more of what was going on there. It was giving me Blair Witchy vibes, you know, for a little bit there. And I love the Blair Witch. So I was like, you know, like, is that what's going on here? But, I just adore this movie. I cannot wait. You said Rob does the Blu-rays,
Yes.
so that's who's shipping it my way.
Yeah, he does all of that stuff. Like I'll do. So we work really well together because we have opposite personalities. He actually originally was like, I'm busy, I can't be here, and then like half an hour ago, he's like, I can be there if you want. I'm like, no, just because he talks a lot, and then I don't talk. I just stay silent. So he was like, yeah, you want to talk for us, fine. I was like, yeah.
It's
So
an
he would
evening
do,
with Randy.
yeah, and then Rob will just turn up. So he does all the fun producing, where he's like, I'm talking to people, I'm doing this and that and this, and I'm in the background doing all the boring stuff, which I think is fun. So actually, doing the Blu-rays is boring, but he likes dealing with it. So yeah, he made all of them. He'll send me stuff. I'm like, what do you think of this? Yeah, great. So that's all him.
Nice. So are they ready to go, or are they like kind of made as they're ordered?
They're made as they're ordered.
Oh, made as they're ordered. Okay.
But some people ask for autograph versions, and then we order like a few.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm a big physical media guy. Do you collect Blu-rays and stuff, or not really?
No. Rob used to carry. Before Rob left Australia, he used to collect VHSs, and he had like there's a photo of him somewhere. I need to find it where just this big wall of VHS tapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I there's something about the tangibility of physical media, you know, is just, and especially when I see something like the Christmas tapes where you can't even like the first place I went was Amazon, thinking it has to be on Amazon to buy it. And I'm like, oh shit, it's not on Amazon. Where like honestly, like if I didn't find that you guys were selling the Blu-rays, I would sort of be a little upset knowing that I can't have a physical copy of this movie.
And we're trying to work on that. Like Rob keeps bringing up like, oh, you Google infrared Blu-ray and nothing comes up, and then so we're trying to figure out. I think it takes a few months to like go in the, I don't know what the word is, the system, Google,
right.
the SEOs and stuff like that.
Well, I think anybody that has, you know, because I just look up, I go on IMDb and I see who the directors are, and I'm like, all right, one of these guys have to have an Instagram. So, and then find you, and then you have the link. So I think it kind of works out. Yeah, you just have to do a couple steps, but all right. So, because you have a Letterboxd, and I'm thrilled that you do, because that's sort of a nice kind of gateway into someone's film tastes.
Yeah.
on your letterbox. I'm gonna pull it up here actually, if you don't mind.
I'm trying to remember what I have in there. I'm sure I'll remember.
We'll share it here, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Right here, right there. All right, so actually haven't seen the first two films. Those are sort of blind spots. Yeah, those are blind spots in my
Eddie
journey. I own Pulp Fiction. I do have the steelbook of that, so that's just sort of once Christmas is over, I can kind of get back to normal movies. And then No Country for Old Men, obviously I want to check that out. But we just watched Die Hard for the first time in like on a big screen.
Nice.
Funny enough, when we were planning this, when we were figuring out the times and the date and everything, as I was messaging you, I was sitting at the theater for Die Hard.
I remember when you were messaging me, you had a story and you were like,
yeah,
watching Die Hard, and I was like, perfect, don't need to respond to me, enjoy
yeah.
it. The last time growing up, I used to watch that film a lot. Didn't matter if it was Christmas or whatever, I'd watch it, and then I didn't watch it for many years, and then I think like right before COVID, they were showing it at the cinema, so I went, and that's the first time I've seen it on the big screen. And it was packed, it was sold out, and it was really interesting just seeing people's reactions, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, I obviously I've never been able to join the debate of is this thing a Christmas movie or not, because never seen it.
Yeah.
In your opinion, is
It's
it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie. It's just a solid film though. Like I was really taken aback at how, like that's the thing with the classic movies that everyone applauds and you're sort of in the corner going, I don't understand what anyone's talking about here. You watch it and then you're sort of like, I get it now. Like I totally get. So why is Die Hard in your 4 favorite films?
It was in my top 10. I'm surprised I put it there, but I think honestly, I think it's the best action film of all time. It's aged really well. The script is super solid. Like little tiny things will happen. So like in the beginning, the guy on the plane says, "Oh, after a long flight, like take your shoes off," and so he does that, and then all the shit goes down, and he has to deal with like he's not wearing his shoes, and it's just all these little tiny details that come back, which like that's a super solid script. So I really like Die Hard. I should watch it again this Christmas actually.
Yeah. Is obviously I think the sequels there are obviously I think 5. Like have you seen all of them?
I've seen the first 4. I haven't seen the last one.
Okay,
I've been told not to watch it either. So
yeah, that's the one that everyone's sort of like don't even bother with that one. But are the sequels up to par with the first one? Yeah.
Die Hard 2, I think I watched it a long time ago. I don't particularly like that one as much. That's probably my least favorite. But 3 and 4 are good.
Okay.
Funnily enough, I was talking about Die Hard 3 the other day. You remember the VHS used to record it on the TV?
Yeah.
So Die Hard 3 I've seen a lot of times, but the tape cut off near the end, so I never know what happens at the end. But I've seen it 10 times. So I've never seen the end.
You've never seen the end?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I should watch it. I should watch it for the end.
That doesn't like bother you, or is that
it bothers me?
But yeah.
I've dealt with it.
Well, obviously he lives because he goes to 4.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Justin Long's is like son or something, I think, in 4, right?
Oh shit, I forgot he was in that. Yeah, he's in 4.
Yeah, Justin Long, dude.
I don't think it's his son.
Oh, it's not his son? Okay.
I think he's the hacker. He has the help.
Oh, okay. I love Justin Long. I call, because obviously there's a lot of we call them scream queens. That's the term, scream queen.
Yeah.
Like there's not for some reason we don't say scream kings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Justin
scream.
Right. Like I think Justin Long is one of the like premier freaking scream kings. Like, did you see Barbarian last year?
Yes. So last year I had to, because like over the years I wasn't watching as many films. If you look at my thing this year, I've seen 29 films. But last year I was like, I'm going to watch 250 films. So I set that goal at the beginning of the year, and then we had the Christmas tapes, and then all this other stuff started happening, and I got really busy. And was like, no, I've committed to watching 250 films. I'm going to do it. And Barbarian was in my top 10 of the year.
Dude.
Solid.
It is a solid movie. It's so good. And then this year he did It's a Wonderful Knife.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard of that one?
I'm Google it
It's
right now.
it's a horror take on It's a Wonderful Life. It's just called It's a Wonderful Knife.
It's a Wonderful Knife.
It's a Wonderful Knife, and Justin Long is the mayor.
Oh wow, that's a different role.
Yeah, and he's got like really weird like teeth. It's it's so good. It's on a Shutter, I think, is where it's streaming.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Justin Long, and then obviously Jeepers Creepers.
Yep,
So
I
good.
watched that last year. I think last year, this year. I think
God,
this year.
Jeepers Creepers is so good. Yeah, so I just adore Justin Long. So, anyways, that's the Die Hard stuff. This is really probably where I lose you here. I can't stand the Lord of the Rings.
Ah, you should have had Rob today. He fucking hates Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like
He
me and my
hates this film.
buddies, we did a marathon for some reason. We thought that was going to be a smart thing to binge all 3 movies, and I fell asleep, I think, in number 2.
All right, Eddie, it's time to end this. No, I understand why some people.
It's
would
just
think.
it's just for some reason I've never been into the like sword and sorcery kind of subgenre. Like I want to be like, because I just love film in general. So it's like it always pains me when I'm like, yeah, I'm just not into that genre. But I don't know, maybe it's just that film. Like I want to see Gladiator and stuff like that, and some of the older films, Spartacus I've seen, but I don't know, just something about it. I just I couldn't glom onto it. And then if we scroll down further here, I've never even heard of what is Be My Cat.
Oh man, it's and by the way, for a lot of these, when I write reviews for films, I just do stupid one-liners. Even if I like the film, if I like the film a lot or dislike it, it's the same kind of vibe with the review. That's a found footage film I've been meaning to watch for a while. Our distributor Terra Films, actually, that's in their catalog. It's a Romanian film. Is super. It's disturbing.
A film for Anne. Be My Cat. I will
So
change with you, Anne.
So he has this Romanian filmmaker who's obsessed with Anne Hathaway. So he's trying to make a film and trying to get her in it. So he's like getting all these Anne Hathaway lookalikes. And he's like, "Oh, I'm making this film for you, Anne. So you can come over and work with me." It's weird.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put that in the watch list. And I just saw that you rated Ed Wood 4 stars. Ed Wood is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I watched that many years ago, and it came up. I have a little OCD. If I see a film and I've seen it before, I'm like, I have to mark it as watched. So I was like, I remember I really liked the film.
Yeah, Ed Wood is so good. I mean, do you know like the real kind of story of Ed Wood?
Yeah,
like how he like transitioned from movies to making like the adult shit.
Yes.
God, it's so weird. Like if you look at his Letterboxd, like films directed by Ed Wood, it's like you see Plan 9, you see The Bride of the Monster, whatever, and then you scroll down and you get into like the X-rated stuff. It's like, what happened? Like, why?
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, right before this interview, I actually looked at Greg's letterbox, and that's where it was. That was in his top films. So I was like, I didn't know he liked that. Actually, a lot of his films in them, I was surprised.
Yeah, Ed Wood is my favorite Tim Burton movie. It's just just everything about it. Plus, I love opening credits that are not just opening credits. Like I like unique opening credits, and that one opens with like the cameras going through the cemetery, and you see the actors' names on the tombstones, like Johnny Depp and
nice.
everything.
Yeah,
I love stuff like that. Like we just watched recently that horror parody Jack Frost from 1997, like the Killer Snowman.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because a lot of people think of the Michael Keaton one because
that's when you said that. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, I've seen that one.
That one came out a year later, but this one was 97. It's like a horror killer snowman thing. So we watched that this year, and all the credits, like the movie opens and it's going down a Christmas tree, and all the credits are on ornaments. And
oh wow, okay.
I just like stuff like that. For some reason, it sticks in my head. I don't know, but yeah, Ed Wood is solid for sure.
That's a good film, yeah.
And then haven't seen The Killer. That's David Fincher.
Yes, that's not his. I'm a big David Fincher fan. I wouldn't say it's one of his. That's probably one of his like weaker ones, but I still really liked it. I understand why people don't like it.
Yeah, I think his best is Social Network.
Oh,
You've
that's
never
a good
seen The
one. No,
Social
no,
Network?
I've seen it. That's a good one. His best one's Seven. Have you seen that?
Yes, yeah, I've
And
seen
I was
some.
actually going to bring it up when you mentioned unique opening credits, like the I can't remember exactly. That's in my top 10 with the opening credits, and he's writing the stuff down, and you see him with the razor blade on his fingers.
Right,
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. Megan. Okay, so you and I are similar. I wasn't big on Megan.
I don't like it.
I was like, this is just Chucky, but not as good.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to go for. I
Yeah,
don't know if it
yeah,
was like supposed to be funny, if it was scary, because it was advertised as scary, but I thought it was funny. And then in the beginning, I was kind of intrigued, and I started losing interest towards the end.
right. Yep. I just wasn't into it. You live out in California. We actually just this past October we went out to California for Halloween Horror Nights. Do you go? Do you know what it is?
No.
It's at Universal.
Oh.
It's the it's like they
Yeah,
do
yeah, I know
haunted
it's yeah,
houses.
yeah.
You've never been?
No, I never been. I haven't been to Disneyland. I've been to Universal, but in Japan,
Wow.
which is bizarre. So I went with my friend, and he's been to Universal in America, and he was saying, "Yeah, this Universal is like all the old stuff from the American one," which I thought made it better. So you're like the only foreigners there, and you're doing the Jaws ride, and everyone's screaming in Japanese, and you don't know what's going on. It's
Right.
great.
Yeah, but that's funny because you live in like you're probably not that far from Universal.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you've never
I think
been.
it's like 8 hours.
Right, but like because we flew like because we're in Georgia, we flew all the way across the country. We were like, we gotta go there because we always go to the one in Orlando.
Yes.
So, but they had a. The reason I was bringing it up is they had a Megan kind of themed attraction.
Really?
Yeah,
Seems weird. Okay. Interesting.
they had like a behind the scenes of Blumhouse, and they were doing
Oh,
like
okay.
a lead up to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And so they had the suits that they used in the film, and then they had a little showcase, like a bunch of girls that looked like Megan came out and did a dance and everything.
Were they like adult size?
No, they actually looked like.
Oh man, that's scary.
I don't know how they pulled it off, but they looked like her size.
Just yeah.
Yeah. So
forcing children to work.
but and then also looking at. Did you do the Barbenheimer? It looks like you did the Barbenheimer double.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, me and my girlfriend saw both.
And
I think I gave them the same scores, but obviously they're super different. So we watched Oppenheimer first. We thought we'd start serious, and then we'll watch Barbie. So we gave them 4 stars each. Oppenheimer I really liked. I think at the time I had a headache. So I had to and we're in the IMAX, the big IMAX screen. So I was like, okay, if I keep my head really still, I'll be fine.
Right.
So then my girlfriend would say something. I'm like, I can't turn my head. It's gonna be bad. But I really like that film. I think the last 30 minutes started to kind of lose interest a tiny bit, but it was still pretty solid. The thing with that film is it's one of those films where there's like so much information being thrown at you, you have to like try and remember everything, or they'll bring up a character and like, okay, I think they mentioned him. Is that who that is? So there's a lot of information being thrown at you. Whereas Barbie's the opposite. Just chill.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was fun.
Dude, I have it posted on my profile like a pinned review. If like a movie about a doll made me cry. Like,
oh, you cried?
Dude, I cried the moment the Billie like the Billie Eilish song came on.
What bit was that?
It was like towards the end when she's like becoming a real person.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the whole like what was I made for? Like that whole montage. Yeah. Like I was just like I'm pretty in tune with like I'm like whatever. Like if a movie makes me cry, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, good.
Like, but I had no clue that was going to happen. Like I had no expectations for that film. The only reason I even saw it was because of Barbenheimer. That's the only reason I even was in that theater.
It's weird for like something that's Barbie is obviously targeted towards like little girls and surprisingly like existentialist. I don't know. It was weird. It's a weird film. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had never seen a Greta Gerwig film before. So apparently that's like, that should have been our first kind of cue right there. She's not just a normal filmmaker kind of thing. She has, a a lot of ideas in her head and wants to put them out there, and has a lot of messages because she has some other films that I want to see, Lady Bird and
Lady Bird is in Sacramento, so like here that's super big.
right.
When that came out, people were like, yeah, Sacramento is gonna be the new LA. And then if you film in the streets, like around that time, people were like, yeah, Lady Bird 2, yeah, go. Like, all right, relax.
All right.
That's a good film. But the irony is, it's set in Sacramento, but they only did the outside stuff in Sacramento, and the rest was in a studio in LA.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so that was cool just to kind of go through a little bit of your letterbox there. Like you were saying, you want to kind of try to hammer in some more films.
I think next year Rob keeps because I did the 250 films last year, and I think I ended up with like 253 because I had COVID at the end of the year. So I was like, okay, this is a good excuse to wrap this list up. So I inspired Rob this year. He was like, I'm going to do the same thing. I don't know how many films he was going for. I think it was 150. I think he's doing pretty well, but he's rewatching stuff he's already seen before, and that doesn't count in my book. You have to watch new stuff. So he was saying next year, every week, I should watch a film recommended by him, which makes me slightly nervous, but I'm going to, because he has such weird film taste. He will like some really obscure film from like Fiji or somewhere, and then the next week could be like some big blockbuster. So he has a broad taste.
Do you know that book, 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die?
I used to have that when I lived in England.
Do you like that's a good kind of, I don't know, like a litmus test
like,
kind of thing?
Yeah.
To just kind of go through there, pick a page.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Just
I used to like going on the IMDb top 250. I used to like watching films off there.
Yep, that one's good. And actually those, because you don't even need the books anymore, unfortunately. Letterboxd has someone made a list of all the movies in that 1001 book. So now you can just go on Letterboxd and see all the films that are in there. But so what is your favorite film you've seen this year?
I have to reference my list, my short list. Give me 1 second. What about you?
Oh, it's Barbie. Yeah.
Barbie? Oh.
It's 100% Barbie. Yeah. I think the only thing that could potentially take it out of there is something like maybe Poor Things I want to see with Emma Stone.
Oh, yes. I want to see that. Yeah. That's coming out Christmas, isn't it? Or
something like that. Yeah, something like that. Maestro, Bradley Cooper. I want to see that one.
I think the best film I've seen this year is probably Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay. I haven't seen that because I want to, because I love Spider-Man, but
yeah,
animation is, again, like right neck and neck with the sword and sorcery thing. Animation is always very hard to get me emotionally invested in. Soul did that really well. Pixar's Soul.
I haven't seen it, but I wanted to see that. Yeah,
that was a good one. That's a good one.
Actually, when the first animated Spider-Man film came out, I remember seeing it. I don't know what I was watching at the cinema, and the trailer came up, and I was like, "Man, this looks dumb." I thought it was a PlayStation game because it looked strange. Right. I was like, "Oh, it's a film." And I was like, "I'm not seeing that. It looks shit." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Wow, this is good." My girlfriend hates Spider-Man with a passion.
Really?
So yeah, so it was. I think it was like February, and the trailer came up, and I was like, "The new Spider-Man film's out." And my birthday's in May, and I think it came out in like June or July. So as a joke, I was like, "We'll see it for my birthday because that's when my birthday is." And she was like, "Okay." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." So I was nervous the whole time, like throughout the film. There were bits she was enjoying, and then at one point she looked at her watch. And I was like, "Oh, that just ruined the moment for me." I don't like watching films with people like who aren't going to enjoy it because that ruins my experience.
Right. Yep. Same. Yeah. Also, Laren wants to know what is your favorite John Carpenter film?
The Thing.
The Thing?
Yeah. That's actually out of all-time horror favorites, that'd probably be my top. I don't know if it would be the top, but that's definitely up there.
Okay. And then Fritzky, what's going on, man? Boom. Yeah, so we're approaching 6 o'clock here, so we'll kind of wind it down here. But so obviously Forbidden Sky is the next thing that I think it's on your radar, right?
Yes, I think we'll be working more on that later in the year, but myself and Rob are actually doing another found footage anthology film called The Conjuring Tapes, which we've already wrapped up one segment, and we're looking to film the next few segments in the first half of the year. I think we're aiming for a July or August release, so that should be interesting.
Do you want to stay for the foreseeable future as well? Do you want to stay in the found footage genre?
We want to go on to different things. For now, we're enjoying making found footage films, and the community for like horror and found footage in general is super strong. And we'd like all the fans, and we want to make stuff for them. So for now, I think because with found footage, you can work with smaller crews. The turnaround is super quick. So working full time and doing that makes it easy.
Yeah, I love found footage so much. I'm gonna pull this up really quickly, and we'll end it with this. But I made a list. Where's it right here? It's called Found Footage Worth Finding.
Cool.
And boom, right here. So let's quickly go through these. Blair Witch Project and the sequel, Blair Witch. What are your thoughts?
I've only seen the original. I like it. I think at the time when it was made, it was very groundbreaking. Like the marketing and was done really well, and lots of people believed it was real. The sequel I haven't seen. Rob actually prefers the sequel.
It's pretty. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but I think overall, it's. I mean, it's like the scares are ratcheted up, and I think that's why people don't like it, because the Blair Witch Project is so subtle.
Yes.
But I think it actually works in terms of a sequel. Chernobyl Diaries. Have you seen that one?
No.
Never seen that one?
No.
That's also from Oren Peli, the guy who did Paranormal Activity.
Oh, okay.
He didn't direct it, but I think he wrote it and produced it. That's another really good one. The whole Chernobyl disaster, and then just to kind of like the only thing that's weird about that movie is Jesse McCartney is in it, like the singer Jesse McCartney.
Oh, he does country music or something, right?
No, he's like a pop guy.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard a song. If I see him, I know who it is. Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen the Christmas tapes.
Yeah.
On
the Chronicle, I haven't seen. Out of everything here so far, I've seen Creep 2. I think Creep and Creep 1 I liked. I prefer the second one.
Me too.
I think the second one was solid. End of Watch, I watched that years ago. Is that found footage? Is that considered found footage?
It's considered found footage because it's like mostly body cam footage.
Okay. Paranormal Activity I've seen. I think Rob has seen all the Paranormal Activities. He'll be like, Paranormal Activity 1 and 6 are the best.
Right. Quarantine, that's the American remake of Wreck.
Wreck I really liked. That's probably one of my favorites. VHS I've seen. Unfriended I've seen. Willow Creek was actually one of the inspirations for Travel Buggies.
Okay. I was thinking about that because that's Willow Creek. Like Haley hated that movie because I mean, you talk about nothing happening.
Yeah.
Like nothing happens in that movie.
Yeah.
And I still dug the shit out of it. I was just like, it's so atmospheric. There's that one take in the tent where they're just looking around and everything. And
so the take in the tent was based on that.
Right.
But obviously, we don't have the confidence to do it for like 15 minutes or whatever they did. But Rob said in the cinema, I think he saw it in the cinema. He said that scene is super tense.
Oh, it is. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Haley didn't like it. But I mean, at the same time, I totally understand. And then the Paranormal Perry thing, I was definitely thinking, okay, this is 100% inspired by Paranormal Activity, right? Like at least not. Yeah. There's like because like they're on the blow up air mattress and everything.
Yeah. It's funny because that segment, we had a house ready and the guy dropped out last minute, and the only house we had to change the story of it. So the guy with the house dropped out, Felissa dropped out, so we had to I think it was a day or 2 days before, we had to change a lot of the stuff. So Rob had a friend who was just moving into a house, and he was like, "Yeah, you can film." So like, okay, let's change the story. The moving van doesn't make it. They don't have stuff. That explains why there's nothing in the house, but they only have the Christmas decorations. So yeah, I guess a bit of paranormal activity.
That's the vibe I got from it. I don't
Yeah.
know, especially when it cuts to like between all the different cameras and everything set up. I was like, okay, this is paranormal activity. But obviously, your spin on it. Uh, why were they filming? That was the only one that Haley and I were like, we're not sure why they're filming. Why are
I feel like the more found footage films me and Rob make, it's more him. I'm just gonna throw him under the bus. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I thought it was because they're moving into a new house, so
so that was the beginning why they were filming it.
Right? Yeah, they're like just filming like I don't know, for like their own personal.
To send it to his mom. I think they said something like that.
Yeah. So that was the only one where we were both like, why are they filming? Really quickly, this just came into my head. The Vernon segment. Was there any cuts when the guy gets abducted and he's just in the box? Was there any cuts there, or was that just like a one take? Do you remember?
I think in the edit, I done one cut because it was longer.
Okay. Because that was really impressive. I really liked the we're just in the box with him kind of thing, and like I thought it was just gonna like static out or something and transition, but it just stayed in there with him as the Vernon's driving him around wherever he's driving him.
And that's also another Willow Creek thing. Rob is really liked that film, so he wanted a lot of long takes. When we sent it out, the rough cut, so none of the sound was done. People were like, "Yeah, I think this bit's too long," and we're like, "No, there's going to be sound. It's going to sound like he's driving around." And then when they watched it again, they're like, "Yeah, that's much better," because actually that segment, the box was kind of janky. So that one, it was Jason in the box, and Rob was actually outside, just like it was in a room, and Rob was just shaking the box, and I was on the sound because our sound guy had COVID at the time. So I was doing the sound, and then the guy would come out the box like, "How did I do? You got any notes?" I'm like, "I'm doing the sound. I don't know." Then Rob, we watched it back, and yeah, he was really really good, that actor, because he also does camera stuff, so he knew how to like put the camera in a certain way to make it seem more tense.
Right.
Yeah, Vernon was great on it. Vernon was one of the actors where we didn't give him notes because everything he was doing was like perfect. Like the scene where he's like, the piper has to be paid. We're like, oh, that's sinister.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that Haley and I were just dying laughing at. It's sort of what was the line? Oh, what's Mrs. Claus's name? Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
It was just like he's so deadpan. He's so serious about it. Like, was that because did you talk about that? Was that like because obviously this man and this woman are kind of mentally unhinged, right? Like, do they actually believe that they're these characters, or is that sort of a no? They don't. Okay.
No, they're just
demented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and then Laurie, who played Mrs. Claus, she's super nice. It's funny because these actors in real life are really really nice.
Right.
Yeah. So we're like, "Laurie, do you mind?" She's actually really good friends with Jason, the main guy. She was like, are you open to giving Jason a foot rub with lotion? And she's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. She's also an infrared. She has one of the like funniest scenes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I am so excited for this. It's I can't wait to get this. I gotta message Rob. I gotta be like, where's my Blu-ray?
I think it's shipped.
It's shipped?
Yeah. When it's shipped, it's out of our hands. He just goes on and presses a button, and then it ships.
Oh, okay. Because like the weird thing is, I bought the Christmas tapes through your link, and then I found Wolfcat Films on Instagram, and I bought infrared through that link, and it's two different like pages. It's very weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I'll check afterwards.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like the link on yours pulls up like a different page than.
Oh, yes. Because actually, I think the one I sent was the website old looking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's actually where the Blu-rays come from. So once if you go on the Wolfcat thing, it looks nicer, but
Yep.
we actually have to go on that older website, and
Okay.
that's where it comes from. Yeah, I
Very
got
cool.
scared. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I was just like wondering why it was two different websites, but dude, I would love to keep talking to you, but we'll end it here. Let this live on YouTube for the foreseeable future of YouTube's lifespan. But this was a lot of fun, dude.
Thank you.
I loved geeking out with you. I love that you're like, you don't feel like someone that has a big head. You know what I mean?
No.
You're just,
That makes me uncomfortable. Even if I was like super famous, I can't do that. It's weird.
Right.
When
No,
you go like, oh, I need this this bottle of water or this temperature, and I need the AC to be on this temperature. No, I can't. That's weird.
but do you want to get to that level? Like, do you want to be someone that's
I would like to get to that level, but not act like a dick.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
but
dude,
at the moment, we're just having fun with what we do.
I'm not just obviously I wouldn't have you on here if I wasn't a fan of the stuff, but I am a big fan of obviously the Christmas tapes. I think that's the one for me personally that you have to beat because that's just I think a really solid movie. The more I think about it, and I kind of want to rewatch it, but I'm going to let it marinate for a little bit. So I cannot implore anyone further enough to check this out. It's on Tubi for free. And then if you like it enough and you're a physical media person like I am, please go to wolfcatfilms.com. All links down below and support them because you have like sweaters and everything. I was thinking about picking that one up, but I'm always weary about picking that stuff up because I don't know the
sizes.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same.
I like going to a store and putting the shirts on and you know what I mean? But I'll probably pick it up because it's just too cool. So
thank you.
But this was a lot of fun, man, and would love to get you back on and maybe have Rob on next time.
Honestly, this was probably one of my favorite podcasts to do. So you ask different things because you get to a point where we didn't have many interviews this year. This is the second one. Last year we had loads because it came out that year. And you start getting the same questions. So I already have the answers memorized, and it's just like a script. Whereas this one, I didn't feel like that at all.
Appreciate it, man.
Just something for your list, your found footage list. Have you seen Digging Up the Marrow?
Never even heard of it. What is it called?
Watch it. Digging Up the Marrow.
Digging Up the Marrow?
Marrow, like bone marrow.
Oh, Digging Up the Marrow.
It's got Ray Wise from Twin Peaks. That's an underrated one, which doesn't get mentioned enough.
Oh, directed by Adam Green?
Adam Green, yeah.
Okay, going in the watch list. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's one
of my favorites.
I absolutely love it. All right, man. Stay here for a second. We'll do a formal goodbye, but I appreciate anyone that's obviously watching this on the replay. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of the Christmas tapes. Be respectful if you don't like it. Okay.
That's all right. We got thick skin. We've seen it all.
Does this thing have like for some reason I didn't even look. Does this thing have a Rotten Tomatoes score yet or no? It doesn't.
We've been asking because we've had reviewers. Is that what you call them?
Critics.
Critics, yeah. Who are like certified. So they release their review, but then they don't put it on there. So we've been trying to follow up with them info ideas, but this isn't. Actually, that's a good point. I'm going to actually ask Rob about that after this.
Okay. All right. But anyways, go easy if you don't like it. But I think most people out there will like it because it's a great film. So anyways,
thank you.
Thank you for being here, man. And everybody have a Merry Christmas. And likewise to you, Randy, have a Merry Christmas, man. And we'll be back with another stream or a video at some point. And again, thank you for dealing with this whole new kind of last minute unplanned change of scenery because man, that was annoying. But anyways, we'll be back, guys. Until then, there's one thing you have to do, and that is keep being fans of the Christmas tapes.